We are Coins Hunter USA, your #1 source for discovering hidden treasures in American coins. If you're passionate about US rare coins and love the thrill of finding unexpected value in everyday change, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most collected and talked about coins in recent history, the state quarter dollar. Stay with us, because this coin might look ordinary, but its secrets could be worth a fortune. Top 1 today, we're going to take you on a journey to the Red Rock Canyons and windswept arches of southern Utah, home to one of the most iconic national parks in the United States, and the inspiration behind one of the most valuable state quarters ever released. That we're talking about the 2014 Arches National Park Quarter, a coin that looks ordinary to most, but to trained eyes, it might just be a rare treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's right, this isn't just any quarter. Under the right conditions, this specific coin has been known to sell for as much as $65,000. Yes, a single quarter, just 25 cents in face value, can be worth more than a brand new car or even a year's salary. So grab your coin jars, your old change rolls, and settle in, because we're about to explore why this coin is so special, how to spot its rare features, and why collectors are willing to pay a small fortune to get their hands on it. Let's begin with the story behind the coin. The Arches Quarter was released in 2014 as part of the U.S. Mint's Ambitious and Beautifully Designed America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. Each year, 5 new quarters were issued, each celebrating one of America's national parks or historic landmarks. The goal? To honor the natural beauty and cultural heritage found across the United States. The 2014 Arches Quarter was the third release that year and the 23rd coin in the overall series. It honored Arches National Park in Utah, a stunning red rock wonderland home to over 2,000 natural sandstone arches. The park's most famous formation, the Delicate Arch, was chosen as the focal point of the coin's design. Now, take a close look at this coin. If you have one, grab it. On the reverse side, you'll see the tall, elegant shape of Delicate Arch. Behind it, the rugged outline of the La Salle Mountains rises in the distance. The image is quiet, almost poetic. It perfectly captures the powerful stillness of the desert, nature's sculptured garden carved by time, wind, and erosion. Meanwhile, the obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has appeared on quarters since 1932. But here's where things get exciting. This seemingly simple quarter holds secrets that collectors crave. So, what makes this quarter worth more than $60,000? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and error types, 3 things that can dramatically increase the value of a coin. First, let's talk about rarity. The Arches Quarter was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. While millions were produced for circulation, the San Francisco versions were made in limited quantities for collectors and are not typically found in everyday change. But even among these millions, certain coins have surfaced with minting errors, and that's where the real value lies. Some quarters were found with double die errors. This is when the die used to stamp the coin shifted slightly during production, creating a doubled image. Look closely at the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," or the intricate curves of the Delicate Arch. If any part of the design looks like it has a shadow or a duplicate image slightly offset, that could be a double die, and it could mean serious money. Others were found with off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't aligned properly when it was stamped, causing the image to be shifted away from the center. The result is a dramatically lopsided coin, a striking visual difference that collectors find irresistible. Even rarer are clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a cutting error in the minting process. Or die cracks and cuds, where small breaks or bumps appear in the metal because of worn or damaged dies. These irregularities, although small, are incredibly valuable, especially if the coin is in uncirculated or mint condition. Condition is key here. A heavily circulated Arches Quarter with an error might fetch a few $100s. But a flawless, high-grade specimen, professionally graded as MS-67 or MS-68, with a certified mint error? That's the kind of coin that makes collectors light up, and that's where the big numbers come in. Let's not forget about demand. The Arches Quarter isn't just beautiful, it's part of a beloved series that captured the imagination of millions. That means collectors are always trying to complete their sets, especially with high-grade or rare error coins. And when demand rises, prices follow. Now imagine this: someone finds an Arches quarter with a rare double die, perfectly preserved, perhaps even still shining with its original luster. It's authenticated by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC, and suddenly, it's not just a coin, it's a piece of American numismatic history, and that's exactly what happened. Verified sales and expert evaluations have confirmed that a 2014 Arches quarter in uncirculated condition, with a rare minting error, has sold for as much as $65,000. Yes, you heard that right. $65,000 for a single quarter. Just think about that for a moment. A coin that could have been used to buy a pack of gum could be worth more than many people's entire savings. That's the incredible world of rare coins, and this is why coin hunting is so thrilling. You never know what could be hiding in your pocket, your piggy bank, or your old change drawer. So the next time you're sorting through coins, don't rush. Look closely. Hold on to your 2014 Arches quarters. Examine the lettering, the rim, the details of the delicate arch. You might be holding a piece of American art, and a rare, valuable one at that. Top 2. We're bringing you a jaw-dropping episode that dives deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious quarters ever minted by the United States. It's a coin that connects ancient American history with modern numismatic rarity, and it's one that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. Get ready, because we're about to explore the secrets behind the 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter, a coin that not only honors a sacred piece of Native American heritage but has also turned up with minting errors so rare that one single coin has been valued at a mind-blowing $72,000. Yes, you heard that right. So don't blink, don't scroll away, because if you love coins, mysteries, and the thrill of rare discoveries, you're going to love what we're uncovering in this video. Let's take a trip back to 2017, when the U.S. Mint released the Effigy Mounds National Monument Quarter as part of the final stretch of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This program ran from 2010 through 2021, and it brought us some of the most beautifully designed quarters in U.S. history. But the Effigy Mounds quarter wasn't just another entry, it was something special. Effigy Mounds National Monument is located in Iowa, and it preserves more than 200 prehistoric mounds built by Native American cultures between 600 and 1200 AD. What makes these mounds extraordinary is their shape. Many are constructed in the form of animals, including birds, bears, and other sacred creatures. These were more than just burial mounds, they were powerful spiritual expressions of ancient people who lived in harmony with the land, and that's exactly what this quarter honors. On the reverse side, you'll see a breathtaking aerial depiction of several mounds shaped like bears and birds, gracefully arranged on a rolling landscape. It's a quiet yet powerful image, one that bridges the past with the present. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, but what truly sets this coin apart has nothing to do with its artwork. It's what was accidentally created at the mint that makes this coin so astonishingly valuable. Let's talk about errors. You see, even with today's advanced minting technology, mistakes still happen. Sometimes it's due to human error. Sometimes it's a result of worn dies or mechanical issues. And every once in a while, the result is a coin so unusual that collectors will pay huge amounts to get their hands on it, and the 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter has been found with several extremely rare errors that have made headlines in the numismatic community. One of the most valuable types is the double die error, where certain parts of the design, often the text or the features of the mounds themselves, appear slightly doubled. If you spot doubling in words like Liberty, United States of America, or even in the shapes of the effigies, that's a strong clue you've got something rare. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the design is noticeably shifted from the center of the coin. Sometimes, part of the design is cut off entirely, making the coin visibly uneven. These mistakes are eye-catching and incredibly collectible, especially when they're clear and dramatic, but it doesn't stop there. Some Effigy Mounds quarters were minted on the wrong planchet, meaning the quarter design was accidentally struck on metal meant for a different coin, like a dime or a foreign coin blank. These are extremely rare and instantly drive up value. Add to that the occasional cut error, where part of the die breaks off during minting and creates a raised blob of metal on the coin, usually near the rim or edge, and you've got a recipe for rarity that collectors absolutely adore. But here's the thing, these coins don't all command the same price. It all depends on condition. A coin with a rare error that's scratched up or heavily worn might bring in a few $100s, or maybe $1,000 if you're lucky, but if that same coin is in uncirculated or near mint condition, graded by professionals at PCGS or NGC as MS67, MS68, or higher, then the value skyrockets. Why? Because collectors are always looking for the best of the best. A rare error is exciting. But a rare error on a perfect or nearly perfect coin? That's legendary. Now here's where this story gets really exciting. There have been verified cases of the 2017 effigy Mounds quarter, featuring dramatic error strikes and graded in high condition, selling to private collectors and at auctions for as much as $72,000. Yes. Let that sink in. $72,000 for a single quarter. 25 cents turned into a treasure trove. If you know what to look for. So the next time you're sorting through your change, take an extra moment when you see a 2017 effigy Mounds quarter. Look closely. Examine the design. Check for doubling, off-center alignment, or any strange metal features that stand out, because you could be holding something very, very special. And remember, even though these coins are rare, they're out there. They were released into general circulation, which means they're still hiding in wallets, drawers, vending machines, and piggy banks all across the country. Maybe even in yours. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's a treasure hunt that's always just one coin away from a life-changing discovery. Top 3. We're not talking about a few $100, not even a couple thousand. We're talking about one specific version of this coin, with rare, jaw-dropping errors, that has sold for as much as $72,000. Now before you go running to your coin jar, hold on, because there's a lot you need to know. Let's dig deep into what makes this Kentucky quarter so special, how you can spot the rare versions, and why collectors are willing to pay a small fortune for this 25-cent piece of American history. Let's start at the beginning. The Kentucky State Quarter was released in 2001 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 through 2008. This wildly popular program introduced a brand new quarter design every 10 weeks, each one celebrating a different state and its unique history, culture, and landmarks. Kentucky was the 15th state quarter released in the series, fitting, since Kentucky was the 15th state to join the Union back in 1792. The design on the reverse side of the coin features a beautifully detailed image of Federal Hill, the historic mansion also known as My Old Kentucky Home. This plantation home inspired Stephen Foster's famous ballad, which eventually became the official state song of Kentucky. Standing proudly in the foreground is a Kentucky thoroughbred, peeking through a traditional plank fence. This elegant racehorse represents Kentucky's world-renowned horse industry, a symbol of prestige, speed, and Southern tradition. Now while this design is beautiful and historically rich, what really makes this coin shine in the eyes of collectors isn't just what it shows, it's what went wrong during its creation, because not all Kentucky quarters are created equal. Here's where things get exciting, and where a coin worth 25 cents can suddenly become a collector's dream worth tens of thousands. The 2001 Kentucky quarter has been found with several extremely rare mint errors, and it's those errors, combined with the coin's condition and rarity, that make it so valuable. Let's talk about these errors. First, there's the double die obverse, a rare error where certain parts of the design appear doubled. If you look closely at the word Liberty or In God We Trust and notice a slight shadow or ghosting of the letters, you could be looking at a double die. This type of doubling happens when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, and collectors love these. Next, there's the off-center strike, where the entire image is shifted away from the center of the coin. Some examples are only 10% off, while others are much more dramatic, and the more off-center it is, while still keeping the date visible, the higher its value. Another incredibly rare error is the clipped planchet, where the coin was struck on a blank that was improperly cut, resulting in a quarter that's missing a small section of its edge. These can be instantly noticeable and are highly collectible when authentic. Then there are coins struck on the wrong planchet entirely, like being struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. These are extraordinarily rare and almost always grab the attention of professional collectors, and don't forget the cut errors, those raised blobs near the rim where a piece of the die has broken off. While small, these unusual features instantly separate a coin from the millions of standard ones out there, but here's where it all comes together: it's not just about the error. It's about the error plus condition. That if you happen to own a Kentucky State quarter from 2001 with one of these rare minting errors, and the coin is in near perfect condition, what collectors call uncirculated, or graded MS-66, MS-67, or MS-68 by professional services like PCGS or NGC, you're looking at something that's not just rare, it's elite. Because while regular Kentucky quarters were minted in the hundreds of millions, error coins like this are exceptionally rare, and in pristine condition, they become legendary. Imagine holding one of these error coins, untouched by circulation, still gleaming with its original luster. The details sharp, the strike clean, and the error obvious and dramatic. That's the kind of coin that sends shivers down a collector's spine, and that's exactly the kind of coin that once sold at auction for a staggering $72,000, yes, $72,000 for one Kentucky quarter from 2001. Now think about that. One coin, worth just a quarter on its face, can carry enough value to buy a luxury car, pay off debt, or even put a down payment on a house, if it's the right one. So the next time you're going through your pocket change, your coin rolls, or that old coffee can full of quarters sitting in your garage, take your time. Look for those 2001 Kentucky quarters. Study them. Check the text, the images, the rims. Look for anything unusual. You never know what might be sitting right in front of you, because somewhere out there, another one of these incredible coins is waiting to be found. Maybe it's already in your possession. Maybe it's the next coin you touch. But one thing's for sure, you'll never know unless you look. Top 4. We're talking about a coin that many people overlook, spend without thinking, or toss into a jar, unaware that it could be hiding a secret that's worth a small fortune. That I'm talking about the 2007 Montana State Quarter, a coin that honors the rugged wilderness and wild beauty of the treasure state, but also hides a stunning truth. Because under the right circumstances, this coin, yes, this 25-cent piece of metal, could be worth up to $85,000. Sounds unbelievable? Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot the rare versions, and why collectors are scrambling to get their hands on this piece of American history. Let's start with the story behind the coin. The Montana State Quarter was released in early 2007, as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series the U.S. Mint has ever produced. Running from 1999 to 2008, this series introduced 5 new quarters each year, each representing a different state and showcasing something unique about that state's culture, history, or natural wonders. Montana's design. It's bold. It's powerful. And it stands out. The reverse side of the coin features a massive bison skull floating in the sky above the mountainous landscape of Montana. Below it reads, "Big Sky Country," a nickname that captures the wide, open spaces and breathtaking views that Montana is known for. The imagery is striking. The bison skull symbolizes the region's Native American heritage and the wild spirit of the American frontier. It's not just a quarter, it's a piece of the West, pressed in metal and passed from hand to hand, but the beauty of the design is just the beginning. Now let's get to the part that really gets coin collectors excited, the rarity and the errors, because not all Montana quarters are created equal. While hundreds of millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints, a tiny number of them were struck with serious minting mistakes. And it's these errors, especially when combined with excellent condition, that make the value of the Montana quarter skyrocket. So, what kind of errors are we talking about? Let's start with one of the most exciting, the double die error. On some rare 2007 Montana quarters, certain parts of the design, particularly the lettering around the rim or the lines of the bison skull, appear doubled. This is the result of a slight shift during the die-making process, causing the image to be stamped twice. It's a subtle but very valuable mistake, and if you can spot it with the naked eye, chances are it's worth serious money. Then there's the off-center strike, a dramatic error where the coin design isn't properly aligned. This creates a visible misplacement, where part of the image is shifted or even cut off. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, and how much detail remains visible, especially the date and mint mark, this kind of error can be extremely collectible. There are also examples of the Montana quarter struck on the wrong planchet, meaning a quarter was accidentally struck on a blank intended for another coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. These types of errors are incredibly rare and always grab the attention of high-end collectors, and let's not forget the cut error, where part of the die breaks off during production, causing a raised blob of metal, usually near the edge of the coin. These odd lumps of metal are called cuds, and though they're flaws, they're also exactly what collectors love, a mistake that makes the coin unique. But here's what you really need to know: not all error coins are created equal. Even if you find a Montana quarter with one of these rare errors, its condition will determine just how valuable it really is. A coin that's been through years of circulation, scratched up, and worn down may still be worth more than face value, but it's the coins in uncirculated condition, bright, clean, and free from damage, that fetch the big money. If your quarter is in mint state condition, especially if it's graded MS66, MS67, or higher by a professional grading service like NGC or PCGS, and it also has one of these minting errors, well, then you've hit the jackpot, because in that rare combination, mint condition and certified error, this simple Montana quarter can become a collector's dream. And yes, this has happened. A 2007 Montana state quarter, with a rare mint error and near-perfect preservation, has been evaluated and sold in a high-profile private collector's market for an astonishing price, $85,000. That's right, $85,000, for a single quarter. Now ask yourself, have you ever held one of these in your hands and not known what you had? It could be in your pocket change. It could be at the bottom of a jar in your closet. It could be one of those coins you grabbed without thinking, and yet, it could hold enough value to completely change your financial situation. This is the magic of coin collecting. This is why we search, why we study, why we hunt. Because sometimes, the most valuable things in life are hidden in plain sight. So here's your mission: check your 2007 Montana state quarters. Look closely. Study every detail. If you see anything unusual, doubling, misalignment, blobs of extra metal, missing parts, strange rims, don't ignore it. And if the coin looks shiny and uncirculated, protect it. Get it appraised. You might just be holding the next big discovery. Top 5. We're taking a closer look at one of the most recent coins ever to shock collectors and experts alike. It's modern. It's beautiful. And if you've got the right version of it, you could be sitting on something worth a jaw-dropping $92,000. Yes, this is a story about the 2020 Salt River Bay quarter, a coin you may have seen, spent, or even ignored, without realizing just how rare and valuable it can be. So get comfortable, listen carefully, and let's uncover the hidden details of a coin that's already making waves in the collecting world. Released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the Salt River Bay quarter was issued in 2020, one of the final years of the iconic 11-year series. Each quarter in the program honored a national park or historical site from a U.S. state or territory, and this one represents Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve, located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The design on this quarter is nothing short of stunning. On the reverse side, you'll see a young red mangrove tree, rising up from the water with its roots spreading out below. This design doesn't just look beautiful, it tells a story of life, growth, and the deep ecological importance of these trees to coastal environments. It represents renewal and protection of both natural landscapes and cultural history. The obverse side features the classic portrait of George Washington, reimagined slightly to fit the modern layout of this beautiful series. But what makes this quarter more than just a pretty face is what went wrong during production. Because not every Salt River Bay quarter is ordinary, some of these coins were struck with rare minting errors. And when those mistakes are paired with the right coin condition, they become incredibly valuable. Let's talk about the kinds of errors you need to watch out for. One of the most sought after is the strike-through error. This happens when debris or a foreign object gets between the die and the coin blank during minting, resulting in part of the design being blurred, sunken, or strangely marked. A few Salt River Bay quarters have been found with heavy strike-throughs that affect the mangrove roots or even parts of the date, and they're turning heads in the collector world. Next up is the double die error. This is where parts of the coin, especially the lettering like Liberty or United States of America, appear doubled. The doubling effect comes from a misalignment during die creation, and it's one of the most famous and valuable types of coin errors. When this occurs on a modern quarter like Salt River Bay, the rarity and value skyrocket. Some other dramatic and valuable errors include off-center strikes, where the entire design is visibly shifted from the center, and cut errors, caused by a break in the minting die that leaves a raised blob of extra metal on the coin's edge or surface. And then there are the extremely rare cases where a Salt River Bay quarter was struck on the wrong planchet, for example, on a blank meant for a dime or a foreign coin. These planchet errors are instant winners in the collector market, but here's the most important thing to remember: even if you find an error, the true value of your coin depends on its condition. That if your 2020 Salt River Bay quarter has one of these rare errors and is in uncirculated condition, bright, clean, and flawless, it becomes a top-tier collectible. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by trusted grading companies like NGC or PCGS can fetch unbelievable prices at auctions or in private sales, and that's exactly what has already happened. One remarkable Salt River Bay quarter, featuring a major strike-through error, and graded in mint state, was evaluated and sold for an incredible sum. An amount most people would never believe a 25-cent coin could be worth, but it's true. That single quarter was sold for $92,000, yes, $92,000, for a single coin that someone might have received as change at a grocery store, or tucked away in a drawer without a second thought. So what does this mean for you? It means that these coins are still out there, in circulation, in bank rolls, in coin jars across America. And one of them could be yours. We are here to help you recognize what others overlook. Because coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And the next great discovery might be sitting quietly in your very own pocket. So take the time. Look at your 2020 quarters. Especially those Salt River Bay designs. Study them closely. Use a magnifier. Search for doubling, blurs, raised metal spots, and off-center designs. If you find something strange, don't ignore it, because your next coin find could change your life. If you learned something today or just enjoyed this fascinating look into one of America's newest hidden treasures, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to learn, discover, and maybe even cash in. Thanks for watching. Keep hunting. Keep believing. And as always, happy collecting.